2-2.
Oh.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Court. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. Trash. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Tony and Barnes Show. Anthony, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing very well. It's Friday. Let's fucking go, baby.
And it's playoff baseball at the stadium, 107, first pitch. Yours truly, of course, will be there after the rain out yesterday. We're pumped up. It's Nasty Nestor Day. It's a football Friday. Prism packs. I mean, I could go on and on and on. I mean, we don't even have a second, Tony. There's so much to talk about.
Don't have a second.
The world of the National Football League.
Oh.
Sets for 101, 2 touchdowns. Uh-oh. To Evans. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. How about that throw? Sam Darnold blasted. Oh, my goodness. Did he take a hit? In trouble once. Brings him down. Lost one for Odell Beckham Jr. Got it down. Touchdown.
All right, Tony. And everybody was saying it on Twitter. You could tell the tone from Al and Kirk on the broadcast last night. You thought after last week's dull game between the Broncos and the Colts that you couldn't get any worse. Oh, you could get worse. But nevertheless, Commanders 12, Bears 7. In a very low scoring, a game that was 3-0 at half. I think it was at least 3 times, if not 4 times, between the both teams where they were inside the 5-yard line and just could not come up with any points.
Yeah.
I've never seen such ineptitude. It's absolutely unbelievable. So after this one, both teams go to 2-4. Carson Wentz in the win, 99 yards, only sacked 3 times. They leaned on the running game and defense, obviously. A combined 28 carries, 128 yards, and a score. And one of those scores was from Brian Robinson. And actually, I predicted on yesterday's show he'd have his first career NFL touchdown. Here we are, and he puts one in. And that was actually the only touchdown of the game, believe it or not. So what a story there. For the Bears, I mean, it's just the same old story. They ran the ball well. Fields had 88 yards on the ground, 238 yards as a team. So 75 for Herbert, 1 on a 64-yard run, where once again, they get down inside the 10, don't score. Dave Montgomery also had 67 yards on the ground. Fields sacked 5 times here. He after the game, he made some comment, Justin Fields, in terms of that he's like tired of not, like, I don't know if it's like improve. I want to see the exact quote here. Geez, what the heck did he say?
Oh, he's not proud of himself.
Oh, tired of Bears being almost there, which obviously that happened multiple times, and obviously, some of this has to fall on him. I mean,
he's got to figure it out, dude.
Yeah, I mean, kind of a weak comment or no?
Yeah,
I mean, I was frustrated, but
yeah, I mean, I understand the frustration, but I mean, hey, man, like, you were a big reason why you were turning the ball over in the red zone here. Like, you didn't have a great game. I mean, you're making some horrific throws. You weren't making good decisions. I mean, you're supposed to be the leader here.
Yeah, what do you?
All right, how about we're tired of you being almost there.
Yeah. If you had to say, so both teams 2-4, 17 games in a season. Commanders, end of the year, what's the record?
2-4, it's 6. There's 11 games left, right?
Yeah.
So I would say in the next 11 games, maybe they win 4.
So 6 and 11.
Yeah.
What about the Bears?
Oh. Maybe 3.
5 and 12.
Yeah.
Wow. So top of the draft. Do both teams look for a quarterback? Do the Bears try to figure it out with Fields? I mean, what do you think happens?
I feel like the Bears may try to figure it out. The Commanders, I mean, it seems like the coaching staff there isn't already happy with Wentz. So
Taylor Heineke by midseason or no?
Oof.
I mean, he had some moments for a little bit and then kind of just
yeah, I
faded.
guess. I mean, midseason, if they have nothing else to lose, they're already still on this track. Why not, right?
It's funny, too. Everyone's always like Ron Rivera, good coaches and that. He's been getting tested. I don't know if you heard any of his stuff post-game.
Yeah, he pretty much threw Wentz under the bus last week, right?
Last week, then he walked it back and was saying,
did he?
like, oh, well, he needs more time to grow in the system. And then someone challenged him saying he was against bringing in Carson in the first place. And he's like, are you freaking kidding me? I watched all the Indianapolis tape. I went down there. I made the thing happen. Like, he's like flipping out.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's like, bro, God. I mean, how about just win some games? I mean, I know you just won last night, but pretty pathetic, no, Ron? I mean, come on.
It is very pathetic, dude.
So, I mean,
better off going back to the Panthers, really.
Just another atrocious Thursday night football game.
Bullshit.
3. But obviously we will have much of a better slate.
How do you think Amazon's feeling?
Jeff Bezos wants a refund, a receipt, Tony. Next week, though, we get Saints and Cardinals. So hopefully Winston will be back. I mean, he might be back this week. But like if we're comparing it to the last 2 weeks, at least
it's better.
There's some juice.
Hey, did you see Wentz throw that block?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, maybe you should switch to offensive line.
I haven't seen a quarterback do that in a while.
Yeah. No, that's true. So we got a lot of games this week, and
you want to do a frenzy?
We're gonna do a frenzy. But one thing I just wanted to talk about before we get there is this is probably the biggest game for the New York Jets in about 10 years. Lambeau Field, 7.5-point underdogs. Packers scuffling at 3-2. Rodgers is tight, not in sync with his receivers. I can't think of a bigger opportunity that's been presented to the Jets on their 6th game of the season. I mean, in a very, very long time. I mean, is this not potentially the turning point of the season for the Jets?
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, think about it. The Packers just coming off the loss to the Giants, right? So at this point, the Jets are kind of being put on the hot seat, being put on this pedestal right now to beat the Packers this week. Not to mention, the Packers have kind of struggled. I feel like Rodgers has not been himself. They never haven't scored as much as they should. The Giants put 27 points on them, so their defense seems to be not, I guess, like producing as advertised, really. So I mean, but of course, obviously the Rodgers name, Green Bay at home and Lambeau still carries weight. So regardless, it's a good test for the Jets. And if they come out here, on the winning side of it, people are going to be talking that this is perhaps a Jets year.
Which is just unbelievable to think about the sentiment, after the first game of the season.
Yeah, you were writing them off.
Yeah, I was. And I have to, I don't know if I give him enough credit, but Michael is just so good with these things. And I mean, that's something that he literally hit right on the head. He's like, don't worry, we'll be fine. And I thought he was full of shit. Honestly, I really did. And then Wilson comes back. I mean, it's been a different tone. And, Salah even seems like he's a little more confident himself. And you know what is the absolute kiss of death, Tony? And I think we talked about this earlier in the week, but Jaire Alexander, all-pro corner on the Packers, after last week's loss to the Giants, said, I'm not worried now. If we lose to the Jets, I'll be worried. Did we talk about that?
Yeah, no, we didn't talk about that now.
Is that a kiss of death in your eyes?
Basically, would have jinx yourself, dude, honestly.
So I think that bodes well. So I think in the Jets, I heard Dave talking about it on my way in. They're second in the NFL in interceptions. So that defense has stepped up. Rodgers, obviously at home. I mean, I think, the last 5-6 years, he's probably only thrown 5 or 6 interceptions at home.
Right.
That's going to be tough.
We'll see.
But we've seen that there's no cohesiveness on this Green Bay offense. So I just feel like, it's really a good spot. Obviously, you want to pressure Rodgers, and I think the thing too, because obviously Jaire Alexander, while he shouldn't be saying those things, is a very good corner. Not to mention, the couple other guys that they have. I think the key is going to be to really lean on that running game and just don't force the throws, but when they're there, take them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So this is a big spot for Zach. I think there's some pressure on him. It's just going to be interesting in a hostile environment. I'm sure the Green Bay fans are going to be fired up for this one. Obviously, they sell out every home game.
Oh, yeah.
They're frustrated with the way the season started. They want something to cheer about.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think this is going to be a great game, and I can't wait to watch it. So
think Rodgers is walking in the stadium, towel around the neck, feeling good, confident, or not so much?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He's
you
going to
think
walk
so?
in like he owns the place, and then he's going to walk out like he doesn't want anything to do with the Packers.
Like he's going to get a divorce.
Well, you can't get a divorce if you're not married. He's a smart man.
Oh, from the Packers.
Yeah. Anyway, Tony, I don't want to see him anywhere near the field. It is time for the football frenzy. Could we get some music? Do we have music?
Wow.
No, like,
Brian's doing crazy.
I'm trying to think of what, I don't know. Mike played it, I think, like a couple weeks ago.
Look at this, dude.
We can work with this.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, you want me to roll it down for you?
Yeah.
All right, let's go, baby. All right, starting it off with one of Brian's favorite teams, 1 o'clock, CBS. The Patriots are in Cleveland against the Browns.
All right, so the Patriots have impressed
dude?
me here. They did win last week, almost beat the Packers 2 weeks ago. However, the Browns have had some tough losses, but there's just so much more talent on the Cleveland Browns than there is on the New England Patriots.
Right.
So, and I know, the whole thing, Belichick taking away your best player, this and that, but I think with the Browns, I mean, there's not one guy that's their best player, and that's what makes them kind of dangerous, even though they're only 2-3. You think about their two running backs are stars, obviously Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, Amari Cooper at wide receiver, and then David Njoku has had a nice start to his season as well. Guys struggled with injuries at tight end the last couple of years. And I just wanted to see too. I know Mac Jones, he's listed as questionable. I didn't think he was gonna play. Remains limited at practice, so that is a question mark. And obviously, he hasn't got off to a good start this year. 786 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 34.7 QBR. So I guess let's assume he does go out there. I think the Cleveland defense is strong, and I think when we've seen Cleveland have success this year, it's been that run game, and then Brissett with the just doesn't have the horses, Tony. That's the thing here. So I'm going to say Cleveland 17-14. Cade York from 55 at the buzzer for the win. Browns rush for 230 yards.
Brissett's looking good.
Brissett, 185 yards. Doesn't turn it over.
Solid.
Finds Cooper on a couple crucial third downs.
Love it. Next game, 1 o'clock, Fox. We have Marcus Mariota and the Falcons hosting Jimmy G Man with his 49ers. Brian.
I am tempted. I am very tempted here to take the Falcons at home, 5.5 home dogs. But Niners are just a lot better. Their defense is swarming. I always love Mariota too, but I feel like they're going to be all over them. The Niners, we've seen them get the run game going with Jeff Wilson and Debo all over the field. So I think the Niners will stifle this Falcons attack here. And I want to say it's going to be 49ers 35, Falcons 10. And we are going to see Debo Samuel 160 yards from scrimmage, 2 touchdowns.
All right, this next game here, 1 o'clock. This is going to be Brian's certified game of the day on Fox. We have in Green Bay, Wisconsin, your New York Jets strolling into Lambeau Field to face the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers possibly shaking.
This game, we could probably make a movie out of. This will be on Screen Time in a couple weeks, all right? So what's going to happen here? The Jets will win the toss, defer, whatever. Where's Prefer? He's still sleeping?
Probably, dude.
So, the Packers' first 2 drives that they get the ball on offense, they score. Rodgers, 2 touchdown passes. I want to say one to Dobbs, the other to Watson. He's all riled. They're doing that touchdown. The Lambeau leaps, the music in the background, all that. I want to say, so Jets punt first 3 possessions, 3 and out. Everybody's riled. Everybody's saying, oh, here come the Jets. Here are the Jets. Salah, all that. But they'll get the ball back inside the 2-minute warning. Zach rallying them down the field. They'll kick a Legatron 40-yard field goal. So it's 14-3 going into the half. First possession of the game, 8-minute drive, Tony. 16 plays. Zach on a quarterback option runs it in from 6 yards out. So we're talking 14-10. Jet defense stifles the Packers the rest of the game. And, they have a game-winning drive with about 2 minutes left. And then that takes the clock down to maybe about 30 seconds. Zach Wilson finds Garrett Wilson, corner of the end zone from 10 yards out.
Wow.
To make it 17-14 Jets. Rodgers tries to get a quick drive going, get in field goal range, and he just throws an interception. Jets win. Salah carried off the field with the victory. Tell me you don't love it.
I'm pumped, dude. I want to watch this game. Our next slot, and I'm kind of interested where you go with this one. We have the Indianapolis Colts, at 2-2-1 here, hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are 2-3.
I mean, we've seen it before, Tony. This Colts team struggles early on, then gets hot mid-season, goes on a run. I think that the key this year is going to be late in the season. Do they collapse like they did last year, losing those final 2 games? Obviously, one of them against Jacksonville. Jonathan Taylor limited at practice. I'm guessing he makes his return. I think that's big. And I keep talking about him. And I know we could make a bite, Tony, of Alec Pierce, the rookie wide receiver. He's improved every game. He's developing a rapport with Matt Ryan. And I think with Jonathan Taylor back, they can establish that running game. We saw Jacksonville really struggle last week, and I think the Colts are just pissed off. They're like, we are not going to get embarrassed by Jacksonville. They just shut us out. I think it was week 1, whatever the case was. So I think Indianapolis at home here rolls, and finally that offense is churning. I'm going to say Jonathan Taylor runs for $150.
Hell yeah.
Matt Ryan, 3 touchdown passes, and Alec Pierce, a career high, 134 yards receiving and 2 touchdown passes. The Colts 42-17 over Jacksonville.
Absolutely love it. Now, still in the 1 o'clock time slot on Fox, we will be heading to the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, baby. The Dolphins are hosting the 4-1 Vikings. I would say surprisingly 4-1. Brian, what do you think of that? Kirk Cousins,
but the problem is you have Skylar Thompson getting the start at quarterback for Miami.
Oof.
Tough, man. I almost feel bad for the Dolphins fans, but I don't, just because of Matt. Honestly, that's why.
Right.
And they're a division rival. 3-0 start, injuries. Now they're 3-2. Now they're going to be 3-3 because I don't think you beat the Minnesota Vikings with Skylar Thompson at quarterback, even if you have Tyreek Hill running plays out of the Wildcat. I just don't think it's enough. I really don't think it's enough offensively, and I think Minnesota is kind of elite offensively if you think about it, because they get Jefferson involved in the passing game. Irv Smith Jr. is not bad at tight end. Dalvin Cook, out of the backfield and running the ball. Plus Adam Thielen hasn't done much yet, but I expect him to have a bigger impact as this season goes on. So I think Minnesota will outpace Miami here offensively. So let's say Vikings 31, Dolphins 17, as the Vikings go to 5-1.
Absolutely love it. All right, let's keep it moving here. Still in the 1 o'clock time slot on CBS, the battle of the 2 and 3 teams here in the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. We got Joe Burrow and the Bengals trying to stop the Saints. What are we thinking, Brian?
All right, so I mean, Winston, I guess there's a debate. Does he play? Does he not? And obviously, we saw last week in the Saints win. They got Taysom Hill involved. I think 4 touchdowns, whatever the case may be. Cincinnati, of course, has just had an uneven start to the season, sitting here at 2 and 3. So both teams feel like they really need to win this one. But I don't know, man. Is it just me? I love the offensive talent, on Cincinnati. But New Orleans, I just feel like has a better overall team. That defense is great.
Right.
Kamara looked good. Got a lot of carries last week. Michael Thomas, I haven't heard anything on his status, but let's say he gives it a go. You got Winston back. You got Lattimore on defense. Unfortunately, it seems like a Super Bowl hangover in regards to Cincinnati here. So New Orleans, rushes for 200 yards. Alvin Kamara, 3 touchdowns. And the Saints defeat the Bengals at home, let's say 35-17.
Ooh. All right, our next matchup here in the beautiful Meadowlands of East Rutherford, New Jersey, the Giants are hosting the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens trying to slow down Saquon Barkley and the boys. What do we think, Brian?
So it's so tough here because we talked about this kind of as a look ahead, earlier in the week, and it's just the fact that you would expect Lamar to run all over the Giants here, and kind of a wake up call for the Giants because everybody has high expectations, and it's funny. My dad, big Giants fan, and he texted me after the win last week, and he said Super Bowl bound, and it's like easy, let's take it easy. But I mean, obviously, we got to give them credit. I mean, they have won 4 out of the first 5 games. Brian Dable is just really setting the tone at head coach, but I just think there's something to be said about Baltimore. They're not satisfied with the last 3 weeks. And I know they hung on to win last week, but it's not good enough. And John Harbaugh has set a higher standard there in Baltimore. So the thing that is tough, Wink Martindale, your favorite guy, he knows Lamar, obviously practicing against him, all these years. So I think without Wink, I would expect the throttling of the Giants, but just because of that, I think that the Ravens are going to struggle to score offensively compared to what they would have done. But I think they do find a way. So it's a heartbreaking loss for the Giants here. I'm going to say Justin Tucker from 60 yards out in the win, and we're going to say Baltimore 24, Giants 21. In an instant classic from East Rutherford, New Jersey, Tony.
Love it, dude. All right. Our next matchup here, still in the 1 p.m. time slot, our last 1 p.m. matchup of the day on Fox. One of Brian's others favorite teams with his favorite person in the world, Tom Brady and the TB Buccaneers are rolling into Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to take on the Steelers here. Brian, I know you don't like the Bucs, but
let me finish, Tony. So I would compare this game, Kenny Pickett, even though it's a home game, but going up against Tom Brady, we've seen the struggles, of the Pittsburgh offense all season, and the struggles of them just in general, and obviously TJ Watt, their defensive captain, being out. But I compare this to Joe Namath going against the Baltimore Colts in Super Bowl I. No one thought he had a shot. He guarantees victory here. And I just think there's just something to be said that Mike Tomlin has been the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers for 15 seasons. He's never had a losing season. He never backs down. The team never falls apart. And I know somewhere in North Carolina, Chokery's smiling here, upset of the week, the Pittsburgh Steelers 17-14 over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Chris Boswell, Tony, from 40 yards out at the buzzer. Najee Harris runs for $160. The Bucs too, 14-0 lead at halftime. Don't score in the second half. Brady literally flips a shit on the sidelines, and I think I see some tears running through that eye black as the Tampa Bay Bucs go to 3-3. The Pittsburgh Steelers get a much-needed victory at home. Kenny Pickett, 150 yards passing, doesn't turn it over, does a good job managing the game. Brady sacked 6 times.
Brady breaks another Microsoft Surface Plus.
3.
3 of them. Okay. New sponsorship for the NFL. Next up, we have now in the 4:05 p.m. time slot on Fox, we have, I feel like, a matchup that, kind of has the hands of one team's season in it, in the LA Rams, as they're hosting the Carolina Panthers at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California.
I think if you think about all the teams around the league, at least 25 other teams, if they're 20 teams, let's just say 20, conservative. Rams are playing 20 other teams. I would pick the other team all day. But Carolina is the proverbial get right spot, Tony. And doesn't matter not the same team, offensive line, this and that. Oh, the rah-rah of the Panthers, rallying behind a backup quarterback, an interim head coach, Steve Wilkes,
right?
Who coached the Cardinals. I think it was the 2018 season, one and done. I think he went 2-14. And I just think the Rams are like, we're way better than this. So I think PJ Walker in, Baker Mayfield nursing that high ankle sprain. Walker's been atrocious as an NFL starting quarterback. Rams 35-0 over the Panthers. They say, we're back, baby. And after the game, they announced the signing and the return of Odell Beckham Jr.
Wow.
He says, I'm saving the season, man.
All right. Next game, 4:05 on Fox. We have the Arizona Cardinals at the Lumen Field in Seattle, Washington. Geno Smith and the Seahawks with Pete Carroll on the sideline here, trying to take on the Cardinals here. Both teams 2-3. Cardinals undefeated in away games so far this season. What are we thinking?
And defeated in home games. So, man, I mean, you look at the Seattle team offensively. I mean, you think going into the season, you lose Russ, Geno in, not everybody's not in love with the offensive line, and the fact that the last 2 weeks, and I know one of them was against Detroit, but they've put up a combined 80 points, Tony, the last 2 weeks with Geno at the helm. The Cardinals, man, we've been talking about Kingsbury. I like Seattle. I can't believe I'm saying it. Wow, I really like Seattle. Arizona, I think this is going to be a tough season. The ESPN.com matchup predictor.
Oh, yeah.
Gives Arizona a 64.9% chance of winning this game. What is that from last season? I think Geno, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 to Metcalf, 1 to Lockett. Both go over 100 yards. And despite, Rashad Penny, being out for the season, Seattle under Carroll, they've always found a way to run the ball. But I think they win this one, let's say 38-21.
Wow.
As Kingsbury's seat gets hotter and hotter, and even hotter than that, Tony.
Okay.
Kenneth Walker, rookie running back, too, starting for Penny. 100 yards running. Rushing, same thing.
All right, next game here. We're pushing it a little bit further back, 4:25 p.m. CBS. This seems like a primetime matchup to me because your Buffalo Bills at 4-1 are walking into Arrowhead Stadium to play your Kansas City Chiefs, also at 4-1. Seems Buffalo's at -2.5. The over/under is set at 54. What do we think?
First time in Patrick Mahomes' career, he is a home underdog. You think about that game last year in the playoffs. Obviously, during the regular season, the Bills throttled the Chiefs, but in the playoffs, the Chiefs, the Bills, they don't get the ball back. All of this. The Chiefs are rolling though, dude, and I just think it's a sign of disrespect that Patrick Mahomes doesn't take lightly. Here being a dog at home, and everybody's been all fired up about the Bills, and I know they obviously throttled the Steelers last week, but we saw them struggle against Miami and Baltimore, winning one of those games. So I just think the Chiefs are a better team, and you wouldn't think it going into the season, losing Tyreek Hill, Mahomes working with new wide receivers there in Valdez-Scantling and Smith-Schuster. But it's Patrick Mahomes. He's a wizard at the quarterback position. This might be one of the highest scoring games of the year, but you got to give the edge to the Chiefs here. So I'm going to say Kansas City here, 49, Buffalo 35. Chiefs pull away late. Patrick Mahomes, 400 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 3 to Valdez-Scantling, who has a $170 receiving.
Very interesting. Now, our last game of the night, the actual primetime game, 8:20 p.m. NBC. What could be perhaps the most impressive come-up story of the season with Cooper Rush and the Cowboys playing the surprisingly 5-0 Eagles at home in Philly. What do we think about this divisional matchup here, Brian?
Cooper Rush, man. That's what I have to say. The Eagles, I mean, come on. They're not going to go undefeated. And I love what this Dallas defense does. I think they will be in Hurts's face all day. I think the Eagles will struggle to run the ball, and I think Dallas will have success running the ball and doing those high percentage throws with Cooper Rush. We've mentioned Tony Pollard a bunch of times, and I think they'll find creative ways to get CeeDee Lamb the ball as well. I think Jalen Hurts will be sacked 6 times, including 3 from DeMarcus Lawrence, 3 from Micah Parsons. So the Dallas, defense getting a lift by their stars here. And I think in a defensive battle, something we've seen out of the Cowboys all season, they will defeat the Philadelphia Eagles here 21-10 as they pick up their 5th victory of the season. Cooper Rush 6-0 as a starting quarterback. But I think the whole thing, the controversy with Dak, that subsides just because the fact he did it last week. I think he threw for 100 yards. I think this game might be similar territory, maybe up to 150. But, I don't think there's as much controversy, even with them winning, if he's not throwing the ball that much. Because, obviously you're telling me Dak can't do the same thing or better. You gotta be realistic. And I love the underdog story and a guy coming out of nowhere and taking someone's job. But I just don't think he has the talent of Dak Prescott. And I know it would have been easy to say that with Dak in regards to Tony Romo, but I just think it's completely different. What do you think?
Yeah, I guess so. But it's so tough. It puts you in the position of, Cooper Rush is doing so well. They're winning with him. If they continue to win, like, how do you justify taking him out?
Yeah, but I guess it's a story that will play out as Dak's hand heals up. So I'm going to give you the pick of the litter here, Tony. 3 winners, 1 point apiece. What do you got?
All right, 3 winners. I'm going to go against your pick. I'll say the Bills for the Bills-Chiefs game. I guess I'll do...
I think you're getting prefer.
No,
it's a fade. It's a fade show.
That's not a bad pick, Brian. Okay, it's like,
it
wow,
just seems convenient though. I can't. All right, let's see what the other.
Well, I also like to create some sense of competitiveness here. I'll go with the Rams against the Panthers. There's no way they're gonna lose.
Now you're
trying
to prove
There's no way.
It's a bite.
There is no winning with you, Brian. There's no winning with Brian. And then I guess I'll go with the Giants as well.
Giants. Wow. Yeah. Interesting.
2
out of 3. What do you know, Tony? What do you know?
Oh, my gosh.
All right. So I'm going to just take a quick look here. All right. So I'm going to go Cleveland. I'm going to go Minnesota. And I am going to go with the Cleveland, Minnesota. Damn, this is kind of tough, actually. I'll go with the Saints. Kind of interesting, right? Kind of
very interesting.
Going out on a leash there, but
a little bit. Dude.
Mark this down. So Browns, Vikings, Saints. All right. So should be a fun football Sunday. Can't wait to recap all the games with you guys on Monday. But we know what time it is now. Let's go to the world of Major League Baseball.
2-2. He got him swinging. A back-to-back strikeouts for Robbie Ray. There's damage right there. Shohei. Way. Sayonara. Where did that land? Stuck to Chapman, who leaps up and grabs it.
Story spins and fires. Out at first.
There it goes. See ya. Home run, Aaron Judge.
All right, Tony. So only 1 game in Major League Baseball yesterday with the Yankee rain out. And once again, we saw the Houston Astros come from behind to defeat the Seattle Mariners 4-2. Yordan Alvarez with the big blow, a 2-run homer here in the 6th inning off Luis Castillo, who was rolling.
He's ridiculous, Alvarez.
And it's like, here we go again. And it's just, puts you in a spot. And I know, they're going back to a home crowd that hasn't seen a home playoff game in 21 years. But it's just hard for me after seeing Seattle blow 2 games in a row in Houston, 1 game away from elimination. I mean, how are they going to piece this together? I mean, I know you got to go 1 game at a time, Tony, but I just feel like this is the kiss of death as this series heads back to Seattle tomorrow.
You like that kiss of death today, huh, dude?
I mean, no,
you're totally right.
George Kirby, the rookie,
I
getting
know
the start. Lance
McCullers.
McCullers.
But I mean, he's not phenomenal. But I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of thought, Valdez wasn't phenomenal either, and he pitched a decent
Castillo
game.
was outdoing him.
Castillo was outdoing him, but then I kind of forgot how good the Astros bullpen is.
Yeah.
I think there was 4 bullpen guys, shut him down.
This guy, that guy.
Exactly. It's this guy, that guy, and the other guy, and they're good at it. They shut down Seattle. Seattle had really no offense going in the latter half of the game here, and like you mentioned, the Seattle started off right. Castillo was dealing; it was looking good for Seattle, but then Alvarez just comes in here and just takes control of the game as he's been doing. So it's just really impressive from the Astros. And again, I don't even think Seattle's going to win one here, honestly.
Wow.
It's a shame.
It really is a shame.
I know.
But it's funny. Were we talking about this yesterday with the Astros? How like their team compared to the original squad,
right? Isn't as good? Yeah.
But then I was talking to Matt on the phone yesterday too, and we were just saying how like we obviously, and really too. I mean, who else from that first title, other than Verlander, other than Bregman, other than Altuve, and I guess Gurriel?
Yeah,
is that it? That's left?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that kind of nuts that the team's turned over like that in 5 years, or was Maldonado on the team?
Ooh,
Kyle Tucker.
I want to say Maldonado was on the team.
Okay. But they had some.
Tucker has been on since 2018.
Wait, McCann was not on the 2017 team. He was on the Yankees still in 2017, or no?
I think so. Yeah. I could be
wrong. Or actually,
wrong.
He might have retired after winning that, and then I remember he had a big hit against the Yankees in the playoffs. We gotta look this up. I kind of think he was in the 2017. Yep, 2017 Houston Astros, terrible year. And he gets that title though. Wow. And then he retired with the Braves in 2019. It's crazy, man. Like I was so excited for him to become a Yankee. And you look at his 3 years in New York, it's supposed to be a 5-year deal. 232, 23 homers, 75 RBIs, 232, 26 homers, 94 RBIs, 242, 20 homers, 58 RBIs.
Okay.
But do you think he was overrated to begin with? I mean, you watched a lot of games against him with the Mets, no?
I think he came to die at the Yankees, dude.
No, but I mean, were you that impressed with him in Atlanta?
No, honestly, not really.
Okay, so it's just the fact that offense is tough to come by at the catcher position, so they're going to be overvalued. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I get it. I definitely get it. So yeah, it's just a shame. I mean, I hope tomorrow Seattle can figure out a way to get that. I mean, at least just bring it back to Houston. Let's make them sweat a little bit. I know you're saying no sweat equity here, clean sweep, no gentlemen's.
No,
but I think they'll get one at least, one for the fans. The fans deserve it there in Seattle. They've been struggling, Tony, for a very, very long time, and it's nice now with the makeup game today. Usually there would just be 2 games, but we have 3 games today. And obviously the first one, at Yankee Stadium, Bieber, Cortez. And of course we previewed it yesterday. We picked it yesterday, Tony. I have it being 9-1 and Nestor striking out 13. I'll give you one more chance here to revisit. I forgot what you said the final score was going to be.
2-1 tight game.
Oh my God!
Yankees
You're
bullpen.
So tight.
Yankees
really?
bullpen.
Michael knows this. Michael knows this. You're tight. You're tight. It's okay.
I'm just saying, dude. Yankees bullpen balls in the end here.
Say it with a straight face.
Yankees bullpen balls it here in the
end. Oh, Tony. But honestly, man, I cannot wait to be at the stadium. This is my first, home playoff game since 2019. And ironically enough, and I'm sure for our loyal, listeners like Prefer, like Chokery, they've heard me say this before, but the last time I was at a game, I think it was game must have been game 3 against the Astros, and game 3 or 4, and Garrett Cole was on the hill for the Astros. So just kind of gives you perspective of how long ago that was. And I know there's a lot of, people saying, oh, this really hurts the Yankees. The crowd won't be the same. There's still going to be a very big crowd there. And at the end of the day, nothing's changed. We got our guy Nestor Cortez on the hill. And I'm definitely guaranteeing this, Tony. Matt Carpenter's getting at least one at bat in this game. Any chance he gets the start, or what do you think? Maybe they're tied it down. I mean, he made a nice play, but the base running snafus.
I don't think they're tied Donaldson that much, honestly. And unfortunately, I don't think Carpenter gets the start.
He gets in at bat, though.
Yeah, I think he should. He's fucking better, dude. Like, what are we
doing?
Annoying.
That play was so good at third, but a catcher was running. I mean, he really could take his time there. But I mean, pretty impressive. Just the stop, even more so.
The stop was
throw
good.
And
yes.
gather.
Yes, the stop was good.
So I cannot wait, but that'll be 107 as we are gonna shellac Shane Bieber, and of course, you guys know you will hear from me a few times at that game.
Oh, you're going, dude?
I cannot wait, and we could go another hour on this, but I know Tony would get a little tight. So I marked down our picks for that one. And then regarding the second game of the day here, Tony, 4:37 from Philadelphia, series tied at 1. The Braves, is this gamesmanship? Still not announcing a starter. Uncle Charlie, you would think would be ready. Dave was talking about it earlier.
What are we thinking?
Aaron Nola on the hill. I think they're going to go Morton. I think it is a strategic move, I guess, but it's like the Phillies probably see through this. Rob Thompson, he's been around the game for years. I mean, you can't slip one by him. So
I know,
that's kind of my thought,
dude. Like, honestly.
But what do you foresee in this one, Tony?
Honestly, dude, I'm thinking that the Phillies may take this one. Just because, whatever snafu they're trying over there in Atlanta isn't really going to work here. Like you mentioned, the Phillies are seeing right through this. And Aaron Nola, I mean, look at his last few starts as well. Against really good hitting teams, St. Louis, 6 2/3, no earned runs. Houston, 6 2/3, no earned runs, ending in a shutout win in both games here. A game against Atlanta, 6 innings, no earned runs, dude. 8 Ks, getting 8 Ks, 9 Ks, 6 Ks. Limiting his walks. It seems like Aaron Nola, who had, a really tough start to the season, he has a 3.25 ERA. I think that's really just because of his of that tough start. He was getting absolutely hammered in the, I want to say, the first half of the season. Second half, he's been kind of keeping it up here. 235 Ks on the year. That's 4th in the league. Of course, the 11-13 record, I think, doesn't really show much of his ability here. And I think we've seen with the Braves, I mean, I don't know, man. It seems like a little bit of lack of offense in the last game, giving up a lot of runs in the first game as well. Philadelphia almost won that first game. Really, it was tight, 7-6 1-run game here. And then that second game. I mean, I know the Braves took it 3-0, but I would imagine at this point, Aaron Nola again will pitch pretty well. Charlie Morton, assuming he starts, will also pitch pretty well. I can see Harper getting a nice game-winning home run, bottom of the 9th, walking it off as the Phillies, steal one here at home from the Braves.
Listen, the gamesmanship is ridiculous, but I think the Braves. I think this is going to go 5, but I think the Braves are going to get it today, lose on Sunday, and then win on Monday back in Atlanta. But for this game, I think Uncle Charlie will come out 7 scoreless, stifling this Phillies offense, 10 strikeouts. Aaron Nola chased after 3. The Boo Birds are out. I think Acuna, who's relishing this chance to defend the title after not being able to be a part of the postseason run last year, will homer, as well as Matt Olson. And I think the Braves actually blow out the Phillies at home here and put them on the brink of elimination, winning this one 7-2 over Philadelphia.
We'll see.
The nightcap, 8:37. Petco Park, Dodgers at Padres. Tony Gonsolin, one of our favorite pitchers on this show,
I know,
versus Blake Snell, another one of our favorite pitchers on this show. And obviously both guys had good seasons. Snell really coming on strong in the second half. We've seen him kind of wilt in the postseason, and obviously part of that was Kevin Cash pulling him early, and then the Mets did win against him.
The 7-3, he lasted not even 4 innings.
Not even 4. Obviously, tougher lineup here with the Padres. He gets the home start, though. So kind of a tricky spot. And obviously the Padres riding that wave of momentum coming home after a nice Game 2 victory. But of course, the Dodgers have had their mark here in the postseason and overall the past 5 seasons or so. So what do you see here?
Man, as much as I would have liked to have seen the Padres steal one here, I just think it's going to be Dodgers. I mean, Tony Gonsolin, how do you pick against him? Really. And I do think Blake Snell, I think he's going to get a little popped here. You saw it against the Mets. I think you're going to see it again here tonight. You mentioned the Dodgers having a better lineup than the Mets. I mean, you can't really argue much with that. And then again, Tony Gonsolin, I mean, Padres had to score 5 runs last game to win. They're not going to score 5 runs. Kershaw, I think, went 5 innings and 3 earned runs. I mean, Tony Gonsolin's not going to do that. I see him going 7 innings, 1 earned run. Blake Snell, I feel like would have more likely to have the 5 innings, 3 earned runs, or even 4 earned runs. I think Machado, I think Soto is going to be harping on Blake Snell. I think, and because of that, Padres have to go to the bullpen early. But, like the Dodgers have been relying on their starters so much all season to perform, which is a big reason why they've been winning, because their starters are so good. Gonsolin gives them the length, gives them the good game. Dodgers roll into this one, I think like 4-1, 4-2, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Wow. You don't think, dude? You don't think?
No.
Oh.
How could you pick against Tony Gonsolin? Yeah. I just did, Tony. All right. Padres 5-0. We've seen the disappearing act from the Dodgers before, offensively, and not to say that they don't have a pretty good shot of winning this series, but I think just in this particular situation, Blake Snell, he's out for revenge. The way it ended in Tampa, the way he pitched against the Mets. I think he goes 6 innings, strikes out 12, and shuts out this Dodgers offense. And I think Juan Soto, I will have to look this up, potentially the first Padre ever to have 3 home runs in one game, all solos. And I want to say Josh Bell will have a 2-run double as well. 5-0 Padres. Even though it's not a safe situation, off day looming tomorrow. Hader closes it out. The Dodgers go into Game 4 on Sunday, 2-1 lead, with the Dodgers on the brink of elimination.
Who do you think is going to win this series?
Dodgers in 5.
Dodgers in 5. So that would mean, obviously, Padres win tonight.
Dodgers win Sunday. Dodgers win Monday.
Wow.
Interesting.
But the next 2 pitchers, it would be Musgrove and Clevenger, right?
Clevenger. I mean, will they even let him start a postseason game again?
So you think, yeah, but you're saying, I don't know, man. I just think that
if the Padres win, they're going to win the series tonight.
Yeah, I think if they win tonight, they're going to win the series, because there's no way they're going to. I don't think Dodgers can beat Musgrove.
Clevenger, though. I mean, so it's Joe Musgrove. He can't have one bad start. I know, the whole fucking glazed donut he does and all that. It was great. It was great, but I don't think there's a pitcher that the Dodgers, it's impossible for them to hit. And I know tonight I'm saying Blake Snell's going to shut them out, but I'm saying it's not that's impossible for them to do.
Right. I'm not saying it's impossible for them to hit on Joe Musgrove either, but I feel like it's highly unlikely. So I don't know, Brian. We'll see. We'll see what happens, dude.
But nevertheless,
it's
going to be a great day of baseball. I can't wait. I can't wait to be at the stadium. Only really a few hours away here. But for now, Tony, let's go to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Hat-trick goal!
My goodness, this is a great shot. Big hit on the far side by Makar. He flattens Jordan's skull. Oh my goodness. Gets the gun right back. Terrified and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliant from Igor Shesterkin. It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores the winner in overtime.
Wow, what a great song, dude.
Honestly, what a great song, and what a great start to this season for the New York Rangers. 7-3 in Minnesota last night. And first thing I said to you when I walked into the studio today is the disrespect to the Rangers, plus 110 on the money line last night.
Should have bet the house.
Jump out to a 3-0 lead here in the first period. Goals flying everywhere. 2 from Chris Kreider. He had the first goal of the night, the last goal of the night. First goal of the night on a power play, assisted by Mika and Artemi. Adam Fox.
Did you see it?
Added one. I did see it. I watched the whole
beauty.
game till I fell asleep to Thursday Night Football. So yeah, great goal. Adam Fox, with a goal as well in the first, and then Panarin, assisted by Lafreniere and Trocheck, who would later have his first goal as a Ranger. Former Ranger Mats Zuccarello made it 3-1 with a power play goal in the second. Philip Hedl with a goal to make it 4-1 after 2. Mentioned Trocheck. He leads off the third with a goal of his own to make it 5-1. Minnesota answers back with Boldy to make it 5-2. Capo,
baby,
with a goal here to make it 6-2. Boldy again to make it 6-3. But then Chris Kreider finishes it off here with a goal. 7-3 Rangers. That ends up being the final score here. They pick up their second straight victory to start the season. Shesterkin, another great goal, a game in net, 33 out of 36 with the saves. Hard not to be excited if you're a New York Rangers fan, Tony, no?
Oh, yeah. Obviously, really hard not to be excited. I mean, you think about the season they're starting off. You're beating Tampa Bay. Huge.
A vengeance.
And then they continue that vengeance on Minnesota. Minnesota isn't a bad team. There's certainly, a good mix, I feel like, of their young guys, older guys as well. Matt Dumba's been on the team as well for a while. Zuccarello, we know about him. Kaprizov. Boldy is their young buck. I think he's 21, drafted last year, came up immediately. He's from Mass, I believe. I think last year he had about 39 points. I want to say 25 assists, 14 goals, something like that. Obviously, him getting 2 goals tonight, I think he's going to be, a bright future here for Minnesota. But I mean, Minnesota was just absolutely overwhelmed by the swarm that was the New York Rangers. You mentioned, Kreider getting started off with the goal scoring early on the power play. I've been talking about, how good their special teams were against Tampa Bay. Obviously, they continue it again, at least to Minnesota to start the scoring off. I mean, I think they were still 1 for 4 in the power play in general. But then again, in terms of special teams, Minnesota's 1 for 6 on their power play, I believe. So I would like to see the Rangers a more disciplined here, but I suppose their penalty kill is good. But I mean, you don't want to be on the PK forever, Brian. Okay, it sucks. But nonetheless, I mean, we talked about the beauty that was that power play goal, and I think that basically sums up how the Rangers are playing right now, where they're just playing unselfish, clean, accurate, fundamental hockey right now. Just playing it, not necessarily playing an easy game, but playing like a fundamental game in the way that they're just doing the little things right, and you do one little thing right, and you work from there. You do the next little thing right, you do the next little thing right, and then before you know it, you're doing the big things right, and you're scoring goals here. And that's what we saw from the team here. You mentioned Kreider with 2 goals. Kakko had the 1. Panarin doing what he does best in supplying 1 goal and 3 assists. The bread man. They're going to be calling him the setup bread man, I think, this year. Trocheck, goal and assist, paying dividends, Brian.
Dividends.
And not to mention dividends. Not to mention, Minnesota, who has good centers. it was split 50-50 between, who was winning faceoffs. I think we won 30, they won 29. So, I mean, the Rangers still, improving in terms of the winning faceoffs. Zibanejad, 2 assists, Fox, a goal and assist, Keandre Miller with the assist. I believe Reeves got into the fight as well, too. He had 4 hits in the night. I think he had 5 minutes here for fighting. You absolutely love that, just Ryan Reeves still doing his thing here, pumping up the team, laying the wood. I mean, 4 hard hits for him. I mean, that silences any young Minnesota guy trying to get around on the wings here, and obviously happy for the rest of the team. So it's just right now, everything is looking pretty copacetic. Shesterkin with the 33 saves in the night, 917 save percentage. You love that. You would think, 3 goals is the most you want to let him give up, honestly, at this point. So, like I said, it seems like everything is all greased up, firing on all cylinders here. Gerard Gallant looking like he, made some serious adjustments in terms of strategy, in terms of, team morality, team hype. And this Rangers team is looking like a force. I know it's early, but you still have to just stop and watch right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's so much talent on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely has the potential to be a special season. And what a follow-up would be from the surprise of last year. But my one question to you, Tony, with their 3rd game in 4 nights tonight, is this a Jaroslav Halak game?
It's a good question.
And also, why is Louis Domingue in the minors, or is he hurt? What's the deal there?
I think he's back in the minors. I don't know why.
But is he not better than Halak?
Halak has more experience. And he's good. Halak has had, he's made some playoff pitches with the Islanders, pitches with the Islanders before. So, he is a veteran backup goaltender, and he's someone you can call on. Louis Domingue, it's a great story. Don't get me wrong here. He did phenomenal in the playoffs for the Penguins, but I wouldn't say don't give him a shot, but right now Halak I would prefer behind Shesterkin.
I just feel like that playoff experience and the fact that last year, that because it was game 1 that he entered, right?
Yeah.
And I know if you look at it, it's crazy to think about, but actually, officially, Tony, regular season, the last 3 seasons, he's played a combined 20 games. So he's been in the minors. Most games he's ever started in the season was 36. But I just feel like for him to step up in that big moment, and Halak is older. 7 years, Domingue Senior.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like goalie reflexes. We saw the abuse Mike Smith took last year. He retired, right, or no?
I don't think so.
Really? Okay, we'll have to look that up. But I don't know. I would rather have Domingue, but I just have a feeling, especially
still in the Oilers.
Okay, just a backup.
Yeah.
But especially with like the Avalanche going with Francois yesterday in that loss to Calgary, I don't see how the Rangers don't start Halak.
Well, I just think it's hey, dude, it's early in the season. I understand you went through preseason and everything. But Shesterkin, I think, he should be able to handle these loads, and it's
Winnipeg though? Like meaning
yeah.
Why not just give the backup?
Well, why not just let Shesterkin stay hot in there,
It sounded like you were gonna say hi first.
Say hi. Why let's say Shesterkin. This sun is killing me.
I want Domingue in there, dude. Tony. The spicy pork. I just feel like it's meant to be, no?
Oh my god.
Don't you want to see Domingue make his Rangers debut?
Yeah.
But they're not.
Well, are you gonna buy his jersey?
If he gets some starts, maybe I will. But it's like they're gonna have him play it for the Wolfpack. What the hell is that?
Let's go up to Hartford. Let's go watch him in Hartford, buddies. This is the great thing about Connecticut. You can go up there at Hartford and watch.
But you know what else is the great thing about Connecticut? You could be in Stamford, take the train to Grand Central, walk over to the Garden, and see the New York Rangers, Tony. I'm just saying, man. If we're gonna go to a hockey game, I want to go to the Rangers.
Okay, dude. Well, you know what? I'm just saying, Hartford Whalers. Hartford Whalers. Hartford Wolfpack.
If they were the Whalers, I would go.
I know they really should be called the Whalers, but nonetheless, dude. You're starting Shesterkin tonight, I think. Okay, I just looked it up. It's
Unconfirmed, but
unconfirmed.
confirmed because usually Buffer knows it, all that.
Right.
But I hope so. But I think, I mean, yeah, another opportunity. And honestly, Tony, I don't know if if that is actually anticipated because we know Vegas is always one step ahead here, and they have Winnipeg
Sweating over here.
minus 125 in their season debut here against the Rangers. Yet another sign of disrespect. And I don't care if Kirk Kincaid is coming out of retirement and starting this game for the Rangers. How are they going to lose to the Jets? Tell me how they're going to lose. I want to know.
What about Keith Kincaid?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question, dude. I'm just trying to look at their
I think
roster
Patrick
here.
Waugh could start the game at goalie and they would still win.
I mean, obviously, I don't know, man. That's very. I mean, Scheifele is good. Obviously, Kyle Connor is good. Pierre-Luc Dubois is good on the Jets, but I mean, Adam Lowry, Blake Wheeler,
Zach Wheeler,
Neil Pionk. But I mean, is good on defense. Brendan Dillon's okay as defense. Kyle Copo Bianco was good last year, but I mean, you know, I'm just so surprised that they have him at minus 125. Yeah, what does Vegas know here? But then again, they fucked up yesterday anyway. So
yeah, so let's take advantage of it.
Obviously, I don't know if Stephen A. Smith is running the odds over there. There's no shit about hockey. But yeah, I think Vegas has this one wrong yet again, dude.
All right, so is that because we got 2 picks here? So is that your pick?
Yeah.
What's the score prediction?
Shesterkin starting first shutout of the year. Rangers win 4-0.
All right. I am gonna go, avenging that opening night loss to the Rangers. I think the Lightning bounce back in Columbus tonight. I think it's another long season for the Blue Jackets here. And I want to say that Victor Hedman and Steven Stamkos, 2 goals apiece, 4-0 Lightning. The Vasilevsky shutout. We've seen it before. And the Lightning are looking to get back to yet another Stanley Cup final.
Love it, dude. I'm gonna say, I'll go with I think Detroit tonight. It's their season opener here against the Canadiens. And I know Toronto lost to the Canadiens in their opener. But I think, Detroit is good. They acquired Husso over
Who?
Husso.
Just getting to it. Wow. Is that a bite?
Who? Anyway, Husso is probably gonna be in between the pipes here. Again, it's early, nothing's confirmed, but come on. First game of the season for Detroit. It's gonna be Husso. I think Dylan Larkin, I've talked about him last year as well. Great center, phenomenal captain here for the Red Wings. I say he has 2 goals and 2 assists on opening night, as well as Andrew Kopp, former Ranger, comes in with a goal and assist. I think the Red Wings take this one 4-2.
Wow. So I am gonna take the Carolina Hurricanes in San Jose tonight. I've never looked this up, but I'm guessing San Jose, attendance-wise, Tony, one of the worst in the league, or no?
Oh, I wouldn't say one of the worst in the league.
You're telling me not bottom 5?
No.
I think you're full of it. Anyway, yeah, you could pull up the attendance from last year, but I think Carolina's just a lot better here. We know Chokery's pumped up. We might go to a game when I visit there at some point this season. I've been there before for an NC State basketball game, but never a hockey game. Tickets are reasonable. Sebastian Aho, I think, will have 2 goals here, as well as a Derek Stefan goal in the third. Anderson allows 1, but that's all he allows. 3-1 Carolina as they go to 2-0 and look to make up for last year's disappointing finish to their season. Did you get anything on attendance?
Yeah, dude. This can't be right.
Why? The Rangers aren't as high as you thought? Because I always said that last year. Is this last year's attendance?
It says National Hockey League average regular season home attendance by team.
Yep.
2021-2022 season.
Okay. And
Tampa Bay is at 1.
Yep.
Washington's at 2. Minnesota's at 3. Nashville's at 4. Chicago's at 5. Vegas is at 6. Dallas is at 7. Boston 8. St. Louis 9. Pittsburgh 10. Colorado 11.
Rangers at 15.
Vancouver 12. Carolina 13. Seattle 14. Detroit 15. Islanders 16. Rangers 17.
Yep. No, I remember that last year. And you know what it is, honestly, because I don't know if you go back, you could see, but I think they were always near the top. And I think after the whole, recession, COVID, those higher ticket prices, I think that's why that's like that. It's not from a lack of fan support, Tony.
Yeah.
Oh, so where's San Jose?
I'm sorry, what?
San Jose?
It was bottom 4. Dude.
Oh, bottom 4. Okay.
Unbelievable.
They're not the top. They're not the bottom 5.
What are these people doing over here in San Jose? I love it. But dude,
California's tough for hockey, though, dude.
Yeah, but when Patty Marleau was, career San Jose Shark, like I would have been seeing him every night.
Yeah, but Joe Thornton,
dude.
He's
Brett Burns. No, Thornton is
retired?
Toronto.
It's amazing that he's still playing.
I know, it is ridiculous. Where is Thornton? He might be. Look this up. Ottawa? Oh no. Free agent. Never picked up.
Retired. Done.
Dude, Rangers.
You want better attendance this year. I think you're kind of hurt, honestly, inside.
That's kind of fucking ridiculous.
We're part of it, though. That's the thing.
It's bullshit.
We are part of it, Tony. So we got to do our job this year.
I know.
We went to 1.
We got to go to every game.
Yeah, let's go.
We got at least 50.
No, but honestly, I think we could double up from last year and go to 2.
I think that's very conservative. Very reasonable. Yes, very reasonable, Brian.
Even if we have to see them play the Canadiens
whoever,
on a Sunday afternoon, it doesn't matter.
Oh, Sunday afternoon. Come on. Fill me up.
After football.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I once went to a hockey game on the Super Bowl, dude.
Was there 5 people there?
I actually don't remember. I think at the time, the woman I was seeing, she bought us the tickets and then didn't realize it was Super Bowl. But was I complaining? No, because it was
listen to how pissed you would have been about this. Okay. So it was during those couple years of Kobe's last years of his career where he got hurt and wasn't playing. So one of my buddies, he was always Kobe, favorite player of all time. Me and him, had the arguments, LeBron, Kobe, back and forth, all this. His dad gets him tickets at MSG, spends $300-400 a ticket.
Right.
And Kobe, so he buys it before the season. Kobe's out for the season. Game on the Super Bowl. Lakers are terrible. And I went to the game and he said, oh yeah, it was cool. Like, I mean, how would you not be so pissed about that? I mean, that is talking about a bad beat.
Yeah, that's not bad. Was it an early game at least?
It was definitely I think during the Super Bowl.
Really?
But actually, they probably don't even do that. So
there's no way they do that.
But it was he definitely got back and the Super Bowl's halfway over. Whatever. But I just thought that was crazy. So a couple more things on the agenda here before we wrap it up, Tony. First, leaderboard update, Zozo Championship. And we know the time difference. They already played the second round overnight. Andrew Putnam.
That's so crazy. Who's watching this?
Well, they
no one watches it
reruns during the day, but also the night owls. I think coverage starts around 11 p.m. Eastern. Andrew Putnam tied with Michael's guy, Ricky Fowler. So maybe firing that swing coach, getting back in the swing of things. Ricky with a 63, Putnam with a 62. They're 10 under par, one shot back. Former major champion Keegan Bradley at 9 under par. So interesting start here in Japan. But we will have a winner on Monday. So a busy sports weekend for sure. But we know what time it is, the moment we've all been waiting for. It is the... Really, Tony? You're gonna leave me hanging like that?
No, I actually don't have the soundbite in here right now.
But Michael's played it. Did you delete it?
No, I didn't delete it, but unfortunately the screen time thing is in here and I didn't change it.
The Prism pack reveal as Tony embarrasses me.
Anyway. Stop it.
It's time to rip a pack. We've been ripping through packs. So we'll just go one today.
Yeah, this is what's really may embarrass you or not here. Oh,
wow. No, you just go
very
from the
clean.
back.
Very clean.
What is it? Leverage.
Leverage. It's all about the leverage, baby.
All right. So the first one here. From Atlanta, Sharif Cooper. So this guy is a rookie, actually. So here we go. Here we go with the rookies.
So with the young guys, baby.
Played at Auburn.
Future.
So a guy that is going to look to learn something from Trae Young and DeJounte Murray. All right. Second one, a guy I am familiar with from Houston, Jashawn Tate. So obviously young, up and coming, had some big scoring games, was on my fantasy basketball team last year. So hopefully he keeps ascending. All right. A guy that I've always been a huge fan of, and played here locally before a trade. What was that? A couple of years ago, actually.
Locally for like college?
Brooklyn Nets. Now he's on the Cleveland
That's
Cavaliers.
not local.
We've talked about him before. Jarrett Allen. So a guy a big fan of, and I think he will be a big reason why Cleveland ascends and gets further into the playoffs now. You think about them adding Donovan Mitchell, but I love what Allen does defensively. He's intense. He's a leader out of there, and he puts the work in. And I think you have to respect that. And I'm sure Kevin Love is teaching him a lesson or two. Is he not, Tony?
Yes, I think so.
And the last one, instant impact. So we know Michael will be riled about this one. Joshua Primo.
That's a dope looking card you got there.
Yeah. So number 12, a little different on the design.
Instant impact.
Michael is so pumped up right now. And what a rip, what a pack, what a week, Tony, and what a show.
Just like that.
As we head off into the weekend and we think about the Yankees and we think about the football games and who's gonna hoist that trophy over in Japan. Anything else on your mind here heading into the weekend? Anything you want to leave the fans with?
Yeah, just I guess enjoy the weekend and be safe and watch your backs out there because you never know who's lurking behind you.
Hey, I mean, those are words of wisdom. And what I will say, and obviously this is not the last you're going to hear of me today. There'll be some check-ins at the stadium before the train. You guys know the deal by now. But let's just say when I'm sitting in this seat on Monday, the Yankees are going to be bracing up for yet another American League Championship Series. Bring on the Astros. You know what? If they end up sweeping that series, that's fine. I want to take them head on because we are going to take them down. It's our year. Nobody's stopping us. Let's go. But once again, really like to thank everybody for tuning in and continuing to comment, like, and subscribe, as well as checking out the archives on the YouTube page, the merch at downtimetv.com. Everybody enjoy the day, enjoy the games, enjoy the weekend, and we will see you on Monday.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.